So I had a divine appointment this morning. Sundance balloons. I'm not joking, folks. I'm delivering my newspaper route, and one of the lowest flying hot air balloons I've ever seen in my life on a beautiful sunny morning is just drifting. It's like total eye standout, huge in the sky because it's so low. And lo and behold, it says Sundance balloons. That's the name of the company in big, large letters on both sides of this gorgeous hot air balloon. Sundance equals love plus half a love, in order, both words, and then balloons divides by 3. So I just want to put it on the board so it's officially on the wall. Yesterday we solved all boys and girls, men and women, males and females, guys and gals, really obvious ones. I'm just going to throw it over here. So Sundance, I don't even technically need to write it. Sun equals love, dance equals half a love, that's 81, balloons equals 90. Together it equals 171, a triple of triple eights, 3 times 3 times 19, the 8th prime, done. Sun equals love, dance equals half a love. And then look at the love in balloons. Why do you have 2 L's and 2 O's? Because an L plus O equals 27, first 2 letters of love, and you got 3 plus 33 in front and back. A divine appointment. God is sovereign. He ordains everything to be exactly the way it's supposed to be every moment of our lives. So another divine appointment numerically in my life. Delivering newspapers. I haven't seen a hot air balloon that close in ever. Like very low to the ground, like drifting over like the small community of Langley, like bright colors, Sundance balloons. I'm just like, thank you God for this divine mathematical gem. And then a big exciting story yesterday, which we prophesied was going to happen based on the numbers of this newspaper alone. You can see what I highlighted yesterday. Here's the newspaper of the June the 6th. This was in the morning I was delivering it. And I was treasure hunting through the news, and lo and behold, I discovered this name, Victor Espinosa. Did the math on it with my red pen while I was delivering the paper. He adds to 8 times triple eights, and read the story, horse racing divides by 3, knew that this was an ordained 3 that God was going to pull off, and sure enough, he won the Triple Crown yesterday. And you see the photos in the paper this morning. There's 2 trophies that they get awarded when that happens. They win the Belmont Stakes trophy, and they win the Triple Crown trophy. And the Triple Crown trophy is a perfect equilateral triangle. If you look at that trophy, it's like the most obvious 3 of all time. It's a perfect equilateral triangle because God is 3 persons. But both of those trophies divide by 3. Okay? The Belmont Stakes trophy, that divides by 3. And then the Triple Crown trophy, that divides by 3. Well, they both got awarded on one day. The 6th day of the 6th month, June the 6th, yesterday. Okay, even the time, if you check out the time that it all happened, you can solve it to the minute. Even the number of fans that were in the stadium, I believe they quoted 90,000, which is king for the number 3, millions watching. And then people say, oh, I felt like I was a part of history. Of course you did, because God was ordaining that event. And you were a part of his story, but now you need to know why. It's all mathematically perfect for his glory. And we talked about all the 3s we found there, Belmont being a triple of 27. Victor Espinosa, 8 times triple eights, and you can solve the trainers, the owners, you can solve everyone involved, you can put it all together. How much time do you want to spend on that particular puzzle? Someone can go at it today, just watch the videos, find more. Just, the number he was riding is 5, which is the 3rd prime, 3, and on and on and on. But that's a real obvious one, the Triple Crown, and it was his 3rd attempt at it, and it was the 147th Belmont Stakes. I solved all these gems yesterday. I'm like, it's literally screaming out the most 3s that anyone could possibly fit into a single horse race story. Okay? And, but the more you look, the more you see. What kind of track was it? Oh, dirt. Dirt divides by 3. Like, let's not forget the simple things. What color is dirt? Brown. Oh, brown divides by 3. What color is the horse? Brown. 72, a triple of triple eights. Like, to the obvious. From the simple to the detailed and the complex. Like the names of the people involved. The owner, the trainer, the jockey is my favorite. Jockey equals Jehovah, and he's Mexican equals Jehovah. From Mexico equals Jehovah, and his name equals 8 times triple eight. And he was riding sheep and goats as a young boy. To me, that's the coolest person in the story is the jockey, Victor Espinosa. Okay, his first 4 letters of his name. It's just like you're just like okay. It's just like here it is again. And then this morning I'm delivering my papers, and lo and behold, a giant Sundance balloons floating through the skies. You know how people ask God for signs in the skies? Well, I don't ask God for signs. I just thank God for everything that keeps coming my way. I'm delivering my newspapers, and it's a perfectly cloudless sky. Bright blue, sunny out today. I just got back. It's like 7:24 a.m. And it's like, talk about an impossible one to avoid. Here's like this low-flying hot air balloon that is just like all by itself in this gorgeous empty blue sky. And it says Sundance balloons, which equals love plus half a love, 81 plus 90. Both words divided by 9, differing by 9, 81 and 90. It's like, how much more obvious do we want to get? So God just keeps bringing threes my way, keeps ordaining things. He ordained it. I didn't know about this Triple Crown race, folks. I would have missed this one completely if I wasn't led by God to read the morning paper yesterday and catch up the whiff based on the numbers alone in this story. And I sensed just from reading it, and God leads you by the Spirit, and you just sense when you're onto a God story. And you're just like, yeah, I see the threes all over this one. And but I wouldn't have known about that. I have not followed horse racing, like, ever. And now I'm like, cool, God likes horse racing. And many people have said it's kind of a dwindling sport. People are turning to other things in general, but whatever. I just know God is always maximum for the number 3. And tonight is Golden State Warriors action. I'm sure I'll be watching that one again because they're going to win. Kyrie Irving is out, and Golden State Warriors should win at home again in a greater margin than they won the first night. And their confidence level, I believe they got all the nervous jitters out for many of those young players. It's their first NBA Finals on the Golden State Warriors. And I believe they got any jitters out in the first game. God is sovereign no matter what. And I believe they're just going to put out on a very confident show tonight and win by a healthy margin. But we do, and I'll probably be watching in Sodexo Lounge, the 3 Fest at Trinity Western University, God willing. But that's an exciting event that's going to happen tonight. It's going to be screaming out more threes, and every single three-pointer that Curry sinks is breaking history for the number of threes. So I encourage you to tune into that one. But that horse racing one is pretty awesome, the Triple Crown. And when you see the photo of them holding up the 2 trophies, the word trophy divides by 3. You're just like, okay, God is still into find love and trophy. TRP equals love, and then you've got a bonus 48, double of 888. In fact, the word trophy equals men plus women. And we found a love plus 48. So in the word trophy, you've got love plus 48, which equals men plus women. Very obvious. So the T and the R and the P make love, and then the O and the H and the Y make another 48. So trophy is love plus a double of 888. Men plus women is love plus a double of 888. And you look at this horse race yesterday, and you see them holding up the trophy, and there's men and women all around celebrating and happy because of the trophy. You did it, son. Congratulations. You believed and you achieved. Your desire was fulfilled. Congratulations. It seems to me that it's like, man, everything in this world is just like a ride, like at an amusement park almost. It's like, are you too scared to go on? It's like, well, God will go on with you. Just say yes and jump in. It's like, anyways, sometimes I wonder when the kids are going to wake up, but God's, okay, anyways, okay. I'm here for a reason. I'm here to preach all this and share this with the world. Trophy, love plus double 48, and then the Triple Crown trophy. I mean, talk about a cool trophy. It hasn't been awarded for 37 years. Now that's pretty cool. Like when you win something in sports or athletics or any event that hasn't been awarded for 37 years, that's when you know it's a pretty obvious God story. Like it's pretty special. Like that trophy, the Triple Crown trophy, hasn't seen the light of day for 37 years. That's longer than I've been alive. Like this, if you're going to watch a special event in horse racing, you need to watch the win of American Pharoah in all 3 races this year, the Kentucky Derby. It's all on YouTube. I love how God has given us YouTube. Belmont Stakes, forgive me, the green, what is that middle one called? The Kentucky Derby, forgive me people, it's just escaping my brain right now. You know what it is. All I know is it has perfectly the 216, triple eight, tripled and tripled again. And on that day it was wet. Wet divides by 3. Wet. Okay, anyways. Yeah, I mean, it hasn't been awarded in 37 years. And the thing is like a pure triangle. Like, Google search for the Triple Crown Trophy and image search. And you'll just see it's like this perfect, like, equilateral triangle. Like the most obvious thing that could glorify the Triune God. And it's been 37 years since it happened. And every detail about who was riding him, Victor Espinosa, 8 times 888, it's all perfect. And God gave me the actual explicit phrase, Victor Espinosa riding American Pharoah. Victor Espinosa equals 192. Riding American Pharoah equals 192. That's 8 times 24, 8 times 888. So altogether now, Victor Espinosa riding American Pharoah. 8 times 888 plus 8 times 888. To the glory of Jesus equals 888. While all the angels watching applaud and say, holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty. The whole earth is filled with His glory. God wins again. God always wins. And He uses people to make it happen. Now, people need to wake up. Thank God for my revelations. Watch all my videos. You'll get it. Be in on the inside. Okay? It's more fun. And you can even predict the future. That's what happened to me. I got the word in the morning. I did the numbers. And God clearly showed me that American Pharoah was going to win. Clearly. Beyond all shadow of a doubt. If I was local, I could have placed a bet on him. But whatever. Jehovah is my provider. Whatever. It's not, I don't care about money. I care about truth and glory. And people's brains getting fixed. And love on planet Earth. And Jesus Christ being glorified. There you go. So the Triple Crown Trophy hasn't come out for 37 years. And so it's just too divine. In 37 years, we haven't seen the Triple Crown Trophy come out. And look at the photographs. It comes out together with the Belmont Stakes Trophy. Well, you can do the math. Put both of them together. Because this is the first time in 37 years that the Belmont Stakes Trophy has been hoisted at the same time that the Triple Crown Trophy has been hoisted. And I saw the photo in the province this morning that the trainer, Bob Baffert, was holding up the Triple Crown Trophy. And the owner of the horse, I don't know, his name, was holding up the Belmont Stakes Trophy side by side. Both trophies divide by 3. Like, it's too special. It's too obvious, folks. It's too beautiful. Like, rarely in any sporting event do you see 2 trophies come out at once. And, oh, by the way, both of those trophies divide by 3 beautifully. And, oh, by the way, one of them hasn't seen the light of day for 37 years. And, oh, by the way, it's shaped like a perfect equilateral triangle on the base and on the top. The whole thing is a triangle to the glory of the Trinity. And, oh, by the way, the name of the jockey riding said horse is 8 times 888. And, oh, by the way, jockey equals Jehovah. And horse racing divides by 3. And horses divides by 3. And everything involved divides by 3. And the jockey is from Mexico, which equals jockey, which equals Jehovah. And you call him Mexican, which equals Mexico, which equals jockey, which equals Jehovah, equals 69 threes. And lo and behold, it was the Now this is the one that will really stretch your brain and will really inspire you as to the longevity of God and God's long-term plan for people's lives and world history. This is the 147th Belmont Stakes. It's the oldest horse race of the Triple Crown 3. And it was the 147th. That is older than every single human being on planet Earth alive today. But it had to be the number 147 for God's maximum glory, because 147 is 7 times 7 times 3, a sevenfold set of 3s. 3 is the king of the number 147. And I even solved the text by Divine Ordinance. The 147th divides by 3, and then Belmont Stakes divides by 3. So, the 147th Belmont Stakes divides by 3 perfectly. If you missed that horse race, God is gracious and has given us video cameras and YouTube. That's why He's ordained us to have video cameras, so that it can be shared with everyone for years to come. And so people can scoop up even more gems when they watch the videos and be like, oh man, look at that, look at the detail, look at the numbers. Okay. But consider that it had to be the 147th Like, that's almost a century and a half. That's older than any breathing human on this planet alive. Doesn't that make you fear God and be like, okay, this story is all about him? And a given story of God is sometimes 147 years in the making in order for it to be good enough for his glory. When was the last time you did anything that was 147 years in the making? When was the last time we considered the epicness of God and the perfection of God in this grand symphony? Okay? 147 years to the day, and it's perfect that this man wins the Triple Crown. And no less, it's on the 6th day of June, the 6th day of the 6th month. And many people would take it even higher and classify Saturday as the 6th day of the week. Like, could you ask for more sixes for the glory of the Trinity? The race happens on Saturday. Many people classify that as the 6th day of the week. You know, they classify Monday as the first day, Saturday is the 6th day of the week, and Sunday is the 7th day of the week. Okay? So, technically, on the 6th day of the week, on the 6th day of the month, on the 6th month of the year, for the glory of the Trinity, we see the Triple Crown won for the first time in 37 years. And it happens at the 147th Belmont Stakes. I'm telling you, if you were in that stadium, you had total goosebumps the whole time. Because God was all over this story from start to finish. And people know it when they're there. They know it. They know it. The feeling of God comes upon them. The grace of God is just, the Spirit of God is all over. It's like there's angels in the audience. Okay? And everyone that gets interviewed after that event says, you know what? I just know I was a part of history. They can't find words for the feelings. They can't find words for the warm, fuzzy feeling in their souls that they felt when they were there. But it comes out in various ways, saying, I just felt like I was a part of history. That was thrilling. That was exceptional. That was amazing. They can't find words for what they're describing as God is sovereign. And boy, is he accurate. And boy, is he good at working miracles. And his presence, I particularly believe that when we watch a very special, obvious God story like this live, or even watching at home, but being there, you know, if you are there live, I actually believe that there is a certain feeling in the Spirit that everyone in attendance will feel the whole time they are there. I absolutely believe that there is a special feeling. You know how people say they feel the love at Christmas time? They feel the warmth at church services. They feel the happiness. They feel the love. They feel good at Christmas time. Well, that's kind of what I would say people would feel like at an event like that, where it's an obvious God story and he's putting on, it's the finale. It's basically the finale of a 147-year plan that God had to glorify himself mathematically using the number 3 at the Belmont Stakes and the whole Triple Crown and horse racing in general. It's the finale of the King of the universe. And it's been 147 years in the making. You better believe that everyone that's in that audience is going to feel electric in the Spirit, whether they're a Christian or not. By the power of God, the grace of God, there is going to be a spiritual feel-good presence in that place. Because it's the finale of a 147-year plan for God to glorify himself mathematically in the great glorious event of horse racing. Jesus Christ comes back to this planet riding on a horse. What does that tell you about the kingliness of the horse and therefore horse racing? Oh, we are a selfish, I don't even need to start, but, you know, when we have a biblical framework, when we have a Christ-centered knowledge base, we recognize the glory in horses. And we would recognize the glory in a horse racing championship like this. Okay. You can solve the details, like the colors. To me, it's very obvious. The colors that the jockey wears are blue plus gold. in very obvious, like bright fashion. Like there's nothing more glaring than polka dots. Well, blue plus gold divides by 3 perfectly. It's the most obvious combination. And I've been getting blue plus gold everywhere from God. In fact, this is a personal revelation right now. The Golden State Warriors that are going to win the NBA Finals this year are blue plus gold. The Trinity Western University Spartans, where I watch the games and where I go to get workouts and hang out with the Christians. The Spartans are blue plus gold. And now I'm seeing the winner of the Triple Crown, Mr. 8 times 888 himself, crossing the line in blue plus gold. In the most glaring fashion for blue plus gold you could possibly wear. I'm telling you, there's nothing more glaring color-wise than polka dots. Like if you want to be an obvious blue plus gold standout, you wear what he's wearing. And oh look, on the top of his head is a Z. Why? Because in 3 strokes, 1, 2, 3, Z equals God. 26 equals God, G-O-D, equals Jehovah in Hebrew. That's why he's got a gold Z on the top of his head. You take it to the detail. Take it to the detail. Okay? You can solve the brands of his clothing. You can solve the sponsors behind this event. You can solve, the brand of his helmet, the brand of his goggles, the brand of his jersey, his uniform. You can solve the colors of the horse. You can solve his entire fashion outlet. You can solve the address of the track. You can solve the announcer at the stadium. You can solve the oxygen in your nostrils. You can solve everything you want to solve in this event. You just take the proper amount of time and you'll get your satisfaction on the perfection of God. Because the angels are satisfied. There's trillions of angels that are more intelligent and computationally capable than we are. And they're satisfied with what they see. They're so satisfied they don't stop falling down day and night saying, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty." Everything that's happening is perfectly exactly the way it's supposed to be. Now, if you're not feeling it, it's very likely that you're just not in love. When you're rich in love, when you got a lot of love in your heart, when you're in love with God, everything is perfect. Everything is wonderful. Have you ever noticed that when you're feeling in love, I don't want to preach too much, but, be in love with God and the world is magical, to borrow a Disney term if I may. And it happened on Saturday. And lo and behold, Victor Espinoza is the 6th of 6 boys in his family. The 11th of 12 children. Like, how many more 3s are there going to be in this story? By the way, I am the 3rd child of 5. God has told me that my life is totally ordained for the number 3. That's why 3s chase me and go before me. Like I'm delivering my newspaper route this morning, and a giant Sundance balloons, hot air balloon, is just like in the middle of the sky, right over top of my newspaper route. Just trolling along. I'm like, there's the obvious 3 fest of the day. Bright and early, no less. But this story gets me so excited, and I encourage you, if you were there, if you have extra video, if you have extra gems that you experienced while you were there for the number 3. By the way, folks, the word bet equals 27. There were a lot of people that bet on this horse and won. Okay? Did you know that betting on these things actually, is part of the way that they fund this event, and it brings people together, and it's a cause of joy and a celebration of the race and a celebration of the horse, and it's people that are too stingy with money and too fearful with money that have problems with these things. Just do it for the joy of it. If God leads you to place a $20 bet on a horse for fun, and you just, it's an act of faith, and you're just, trying out your prophetic abilities, and I wonder if this will happen. Just, who cares? Go for it. It's like, do the math yourself. Bet equals 27. Wager equals 54, a double of 27. The odds divides by 3. It's all numbers, and we love the numbers. It's like, oh man, how great is your faith? Do you honestly believe that you have a good prophetic ability? Well, place money on American Pharoah. Go for it. Have some fun doing it. It's all a personal relationship with God. It's all a personal relationship with God. It's that simple. It's like, as long as God is number 1, and you don't care that much about money, and you don't care that much about the results, and you don't care that much about what happens to you, and you're just in love with God, go ahead. Go ahead, place a bet on the horse. Laugh yourself silly while you're doing it. Bet $1 if you want. Have fun with the kids. Just be like, oh man, we lost $1. You just like, whatever. Okay? But from what I understand, bets and wagers in this sport obviously help pay for the sport. And the celebration that it brings us. And this is an obvious God story. So, God did never say in one of the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not place money on some event that you think would happen. He just said, beware of the love of money. It's just like, I marvel at how much freedom God actually does. There's not many things in the Bible where actually God says, don't do this. It's like, just make sure you're loving Him the most. But to me, this is one of the most obvious threes of the year. This is one of the most obvious threes of the entire year. I want to study this more because I just like focusing on the numbers. I probably will. I'll probably watch the video again and I'll dig up some more gems in this and share more of what I find. And I marvel that this whole blue plus gold concept is really coming strong. The Golden State Warriors, blue plus gold. Victor Espinosa, blue plus gold. Trinity Western University Spartans, blue plus gold. Alright, I'm probably going to watch this replay and just scoop up some more gems, maybe bring the video camera over to the computer. But this morning, right out of the gate, folks, Sundance balloons. Just keeps happening to me.